to see him succeed, but we'll see. I think it's going to be a really difficult matchup for them. And I think they might only have this one composition available to themselves, so definitely a rough situation for them to be in. Charlotte Phoenix has a little bit more flexibility, but we really haven't seen too much of Burn. So Charlotte Phoenix, I don't know how many different comp options they actually have. It does look like they are going to be playing the Shadow Priest Warrior Paladin. Okay, Shadow Priest Warrior Paladin versus Moonkin Warrior Paladin. Certainly, I didn't expect this.
I didn't either. It's game number 1, Charlotte Phoenix versus Plot Twist.
All right, the plot thickens here. We got to see the Shadow Priest. A bit of a counter, I would say, to the other hybrids. You have those mind games, and you can get a big hit. You can turn that Moonkin's defense against him, and I know how much Super Tease loves that. So we're going to see here what ends up happening here. We get a Hodge onto Piff, and already at this point coming out from Born Good, they get the Disarm here onto Born Good. Did they have any follow-up? Maybe a Stormbolt, Blade Storm here from Nick. Nick, playing that Windwalker, Rogue, Warrior, anything his team needs really, and he's going to be doing a great job so far. Ja as well, being a bit of a caster expert here, seeing him on the Alley Shaman, Shadow Priest, and that Mage as well. Let's see what they can do here. Full Fear coming out onto Born Good, and they're looking to get that pressure here onto Dippy, but Dippy immediately dipping out of line there, Sid.
Let's see what he can get done here. I think Nick running Ventir Warrior is also a really good pick into a high armor class like a Boomkin. So that's going to allow Nick to do a lot more damage. It turns his execute into a magic execute called Condemn. Jamili, though, getting blasted. Blessing of Protection has been forced out. And I will say, Plot Twist have definitely not been a pushover so far in game 1. Every once in a while, Jamili just gets chunked down. Nick into a Cyclone. Dippy free casting in the back line. Nick gets out, though, a little bit early, pummeling up Nick for a moment. Forcing him into bear form. Dippy going to knock Nick away in line of sight while Born Good's in a fear. Good positioning here. Line of sight in Jamili. Frenzied regen before the mind games. Not on the sharpened blade either, so well timed. Jamili now stuck in a Spirit Bastion. Has to trade Dispersion. Fair trade, though, for that Celestial Alignment. They're going to swap to Nick, try and burn him down. He's going to trade Die by the Sword. Again, still fair trade, respecting those balanced Druid cooldowns. Obviously, Charlotte Phoenix were ready for a balanced Druid, making good trades so far.
Yeah, I mean, Dippy right now taking quite a bit of pressure. If he gets interrupted on Cyclone, it could be very scary. But it looks like he will be able to stabilize Born Good in a good spot just to heal him up right now. Piff forcing Jamili back, and this game is basically just turned into the Warriors hitting the casters across the map. So
Elite Pummel!
Interesting to say the least. Nick doing a good job with his Elite Pummel. He gets knocked away by Dippy, realizing, hey, he doesn't really have too much mobility. But Nick spins over. And it seems like the Moonkin is doing, is in a better spot. At least Born Good is positioned in a little bit better of a way where you can actually heal up both Dippy and Piff at the same time. And I would say pressure is going in favor of Plot Twist right now.
Oh, nice there. Repentance there by Born Good. Snipes it out onto Korlik. Forces out the Trinket Sacrifice. And the plot is definitely getting thicker here. We can see Born Good surprising us with more and more things here. Now they know he's playing rep, and they're going to be going after him immediately here. And they get the silence, disarm there with the mind games. But Born Good going to be able to duck around the corner, use that Divine Protection, and he's going to be completely fine. Wing's going to be proccing here. He gets feared actually on that with that Divine Favor. He's going to just trinket out of that one and get it out. And now he's looking to potentially get some pressure here onto Nick with those judges, and Dippy as well, just keeping him out of bear form, looking for some damage. Born Good positioning in a way where he's looking for those repentances, and let's see if they can do it. If Piff can potentially get Korlik to move out in the open field, that could be a big win condition. And Nick realizing, hey, we're not winning this tunnel the caster situation. Let's go back and pressure the Warrior here a little bit. Get Jamili some breathing room here on that Shadow Priest. Here we go. Psychic Horror. Jamili looking for the fear. Can he connect? Doesn't look like it. He gets Cyclone on his way there. Dippy once again doing a great job there on that Moonkin. And now Korlik here getting stunned up into the Repentance. He's looking to fake cast there, and he actually does get the Repentance. Jamili taking a fat hit there from that Star Surge, and that's going to be the Dispersion. So there is some win conditions here on the side of Plot Twist with that Repentance.
I mean, Plot Twist are in a solid position. They forced everything from Jamili, significant cooldowns from Korlik. They're whittling down Nick at the same time. I don't think this is going the way Charlotte Phoenix had anticipated in their blind picks selection here, so they need to start turning it around. The pressure is so high. Piff is destroying the whole team. Triple fear by Piff. Can they set up off of this? Celestial Alignment's coming up in 13, and they just forced Avenging Wrath prior to it. This is perfect positioning. Piff has Warbreaker. They could get a huge combo of damage if they get Born Good in there and get some crowd control into Corlick. Nick leaps back over onto Dippy. Dippy might bait Nick into a bad position, knocking him away. Nick charging in, trying to stay on target here. But it might be in trouble. Jamili has Fade. If he gets stunned, though, he won't be able to do it. If they combo together, here's the Solar Beam, Stormbolt combo, massive damage. Corlick responds appropriately, trading that sacrifice and redirecting all of the damage, seeing that all in on Jamili, and responded exactly the way that he needed to survive. But now they're swapping back to Nick, pressure onto him, down to half. Corlick trying to stabilize. Dippy's Celestial Alignment still up for a moment, but not finding too much damage as they recover. Piff falling behind here as Charlotte Phoenix try to develop momentum. Born Good shuts it down. Mind controls out from Jamili, getting Repentant on it. Corlick was trying to drink. Piff gonna leap over and deny that. And Jamili is still struggling at this point.
Oh, he certainly is. He's in a stun now as well. This could easily be the dispersion. Corlick trying to just power through with his Avenging Wrath, and it looks like he will be able to do so. Dippy just looking so durable on that Moonkin, very far away. This positioning is just excellent. 4 plot twists so far. Mana, relatively even. Corlick maybe a little bit behind, but now Jamili pushing forward. Wants to get something going. Can they get the crowd control on Born Good? Born Good just more than happy to just play very far away. Uses Avenging Wrath himself, but now caught into some crowd control. Dippy tops himself off very quickly there with his Frenzied Regeneration. Now they actually make a swap here over onto Nick, I do believe. And I feel like, or onto Piff, I feel like Piff is going to be completely fine there. Taking a little bit of pressure. Let's see if he can hold on. Jamili going for Mind Games. Gets shut down or reflected. Didn't really amount to too much there. Let's see if Born Good, how he's going to be able to actually heal through this pressure. Charlotte Phoenix really kind of developing a lead right now. Divine Toll does land on Piff, but Born Good still has Sacrifice. He has Divine Favor. Avenging Wrath has procced. And I think Dippy should be able to go to full health. There it is. Big heal. 10% dampening. But this game is going to get really unstable as dampening gets higher and higher in this match. These Paladins are going to really struggle to kind of recover in these situations.
Yeah, and at any point, Dippy can just get a fat Star Surge, and that might just be what closes out the match. Born Good has that Repentance as well in his back pocket, so there's definitely win conditions here on both sides. Jamili can get a big Mind Games that could also just immediately erase Dippy here. And these Warriors as well, if they stay out of their healers' range for too long, that could be a big problem. Jamili now actually dropping to about 50%. Here we go, Silence and that Power Infusion here being used, and Born Good now going to be charging across here, actually hesitating a little bit on that Divine Steed. Nick is going to fear him here. Dippy is going behind the pillar here, realizing that this is a pretty dangerous situation for him. Nick as well might get Hammer of Justice. Actually reflects the Hammer of Justice. What an absolute legend here behind the pillar, now going in battle stance 2v1, getting the Blade Storm, now going back over onto Piff here, giving Jaw some breathing room on that Shadow Priest as well. And I gotta say, no matter what class I watch Nick play, he's always doing a good job, having a good read on the game here. And now both of these casters just basically going full aggression here. And you can see Jamili now taking the brunt end of that exchange in that Kyrian Spear. Corlick now in a Stormbolt, has to use his Trinket there and try to power through. Born Good now might be getting feared here with Jamili with that freedom. Look at him trying to pincer him in that corner. Jaw does connect with the fear. Who are they going to go after here? Looks like it's going to be Piff, but look at Dippy just sitting back very far behind that line of sight, spamming out the heals, looking some Cyclones. Born Good trinketing now as well here in that exchange, and Born Good actually dropping dangerously low as well. Going for the Repentance though, he does find it onto Corlick, but Corlick preemptively sacrifices it. Dippy now dipping low here. Can they get him to flop here potentially? Doesn't look like it. Still has that renewal as well to work with here. Both of these teams very evenly matched so far.
All right, let's see if they can keep it up. Good recovery by Born Good, although dipping low. Solar Beam swap to Corlick is interrupted. Huge damage coming up from Dippy. Corlick stabilizing at 30%. Fortunately for him, was able to hold on to that Divine Shield. Thankfully backed up by his team. Now Dippy stunned up. Born Good silenced. Is Dippy going to make the trade here? Frenzied Regen. Recovering. Nick using Door of Shadows to interrupt maybe on a cast there. Not going to commit to it. Spell Reflect on Cyclone. Might switch back to Piff for a moment here. Mana slightly in favor at this point for Corlick's team and Charlotte Phoenix. That's definitely going to be a point of contention if this game continues, as long as it's looking like it could go. Dippy getting cleaved down along with Piff. Born Good stunned up. Jamili gets in position for Psychic Scream. Born Good going to Divine Shield Sacrifice and just fully respect that crowd control and charge in for a Repentance. Try and turn the tables here. Corlick locked down in crowd control. Although it looks like a Massive Spell or something broke it early. Corlick Now timing big heals on Jamili. Dippy falling behind, needs to make a choice when to Barkskin. Holding on to it while Born Good has that Avenging Wrath up. Jamili gets pummeled, down to half. Gonna Blessing of Protection. Shattering throw from Piff. Solar Beam onto Jamili, Fear on Korlik. Jamili down at half health, has to make a choice on using this Dispersion or not. Looks like he's committed to not using it, but Korlik's now in a bash. Dippy gets silenced, but Korlik into Repentance. They have to use Dispersion. Gonna overlap with the Rallying Cry, but it does also mean the Dispersion will heal more on Jamili. Born Good sneaking away for a drink. If Born Good can get mana here, that's great for his team. Piff's going to trade Die by the Sword. Jamili's trying to Door of Shadows in to the backline maybe. Piff's protecting him, bodying away Jamili, and Born Good's mana is going up, 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 up. Basically full here if he can recover, but he doesn't have much to heal with.
Yeah, this is going to be a struggle moment in the match. 30% dampening. He sat down for a really long drink and now has to recover as a situation. Jamili getting absolutely destroyed. Has to trade out the Fade. Korlik also wants to go for a drink, but they are shutting that down. And Jamili, no Fade, no Dispersion. He is on the run. What a scary moment here for Charlotte Phoenix. 33% dampening. Full Fear on Born Good. He trinkets out. Dippy at the same time taking a little bit of burst, but Jamili is just falling further and further behind. And Korlik is really struggling to keep him alive. Piff with a nice Stormbolt on Korlik on his Avenging Wrath, and Jamili taking a huge hit of damage. It's going to be the sacrifice that also trades. Plot twist right now, getting a lot of defensive cooldowns out of the way from Charlotte Phoenix.
It's looking really good so far for Plot Twist. They got that drink that equalized the mana, and Dippy now actually taking a lot of damage though. Needs to be careful. Mind Games was on him, but Born Good with a fast Dispel there, able to prevent that from escalating any further. Korlik's in now for a drink, but Piff just stops it with that Whirlwind. Jaw has actually been the one taking the brunt exchange here, and we can see now the Spear of Bastion coming in. Piff looking to lay waste to his foes with that Avatar. Jaw forced into the dispersion here. Gonna have his trinket coming up, but no real damage mitigation. And I gotta say, the Mookin team is looking prime right now. They got those Solar Beams as well coming up in 10 seconds. That Solar Beam has been used so far to just shut down Jamili, kick him on his cast, and then try to take him down. So if they can do that again, that could be a big win condition for them. No sacrifice for Korlik for a while. And Korlik also just rotting down slowly here. Born Good having no problem so far out healing the damage from Charlotte Phoenix. And this one could be one of those games where you think you have a good composition, but you don't. And now we're going to see Piff here caught up in a Hammer of Justice. Nick's trying to swap to him. Piff trinkets out. Die by the Sword trades out. Nick looking for that Spell Reflect potentially as well. Not finding anything of value. Korlik now getting swapped to here as well. Nice Master Spell though from Jamili, and a nice interrupt there on the Repentance by Born Good, but he does fake it. Dippy with big damage here with that Celestial Alignment, looking for the Star Surges here. Everybody on Charlotte Phoenix taking huge damage. Defensive Fear coming out. Korlik forced to use his bubble, and this game is definitely spiraling. Korlik dropping to 1% HP there, and his bubble just ended. Piff might just close out the game. Jamili grips him, and Korlik gets blasted by Piff. Plot Twist takes game number 1.
Staying true to their name, right? Plot Twist. They really mix things up here. I don't think many people would expect Charlotte Phoenix to lose to them in this game number 1, but the blind picks seem to go in their favor, and this makes me wonder if Charlotte Phoenix really knew what they were going to play against. But I mean, we can take a look at the replay here. 42% dampening, and it's the Celestial Alignment from Dippy that really puts it over the top. He's being very patient. At this point of the game, dampening's high enough where all 6 members just get on top of each other and try to put out as much pressure as they can. They're trying to slow down Dippy, but you can just see when he gets that damage out, Korlik is forced to use the Divine Shield. This is the Rallying Cry from Nick as well, and this is where Korlik actually goes to 1% health, a complete panic. He's 30% health, and then he's 1% health. And then all of a sudden, you see Piff leap over, Korlik is in the open, and there's really nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Plot Twist capitalized on the situation, and are able to claim game number 1.
All right, Plot Twist winning game number 1 here in this Elimination Series. Last series of the day as well. These guys are really stepping up to the plate here in this very first game. What an explosive way to start this off as well. And now I'm thinking I don't know, how do we feel like the rest of the series is going to go, Ben? Then is this going to be sort of evenly matched here? Or do we think that Plot Twist has a chance to 3-0 here?
I mean, there's certainly a chance. I feel like this is a well-rounded composition. Charlotte Phoenix has lots of different options, though, right? I mean, we saw Unitas play Rogue Mage Priest and take a game off of Plot Twist. Although they lost the series, every game was really close. So Charlotte Phoenix, I mean, they could just try Rogue Mage Priest and try to play a little bit better than Unitas did, and maybe the result will be different. Nick, he can play the Windwalker Monk. That gives them options to play like Windwalker Mage Paladin. Certainly an option here also. They're going to just have to try something else out, though. I don't know if I like the Shadow Priest Warrior. In fact, I would say I didn't like it.
What about the Shadow Priest Mage? Didn't you tell? Doesn't Nick play a mage? I feel like he plays everything, right? And then Jamili
He plays a mage when they play double mage. But
okay.
I don't, yeah.
Double mage?
He has played mage. I would be double mage, yeah, maybe.
I don't know. There's no purge.
That would be funny.
You get double combust.
That is true.
I'm down to see it.
I think it could actually work, to be honest. Sounds really good.
I was thinking we would see it at least once from one of these teams. I mean,
I've heard whispers that in a few short weeks we might see a double mage team sign up and try their hand in the AWC, but just whispers at this point,
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to that if we ever do see that composition. Maybe we'll see in this series. You never know. But Charlotte Phoenix here going to be moving to their map choice here in this best of 5 series, and they need to win this series if they want to have hopes to get into that top 8. They're trying to get as many points as they can. These cups are so crucial, especially as we get into the later cups. They just run out of chances every cup that we do pass here. Both of these compositions now locked in. Seeing Fire Mage and Warrior on the side of Charlotte Phoenix, and Plot Twist is going to be going with the Boomkin Warrior once again on hook point as well, Super Tees.
I'm trying to think. It makes sense. Charlotte Phoenix just want to close the game out fast. I feel like Warrior Mage is actually a really hard comp to deal with as Boomkin. You need to really kite well and avoid damage because you don't really have a lot of disruption to stop the mage from crowd controlling your healer. So you're just going to have to avoid damage the whole time they're crowd controlled. So Dippy's going to be, I think, tested here. And Hook Point's a hard map to kite on as well because it's so small. I like this composition better from Charlotte Phoenix. The Shadow Priest not able to go toe-to-toe. Also, again, into Shadow Resistance Aura. Imagine if it was like Nature Resistance Aura or something, then the Boomkin would be doing less damage. But Jamili's is doing, I think, 15% less damage the whole game to every target because of that Honor Talent. It's tough to really get momentum through it. Which is ultimately, I think, why they couldn't really get anything going. Whereas Mage, against a team that has no Purge, against a team that has no Shaman for grounding totems and no option to change, I think it makes a lot more sense to bring in Jamili on Mage.
All right, well, we're going to see if that works out here. Game starting up soon. It's Charlotte Phoenix versus Plot Twist. Game number 2 here on Hook Point. Excited to see how these choices work out for these two teams.
Ooh, it's teleporting right in to the action. And let's see, I mean, this could just be the evolution of this composition. We talked about double mage. They're just testing the waters. They're just bringing in one mage for now. Combustion gets ripped out. And keep in mind, there is no dispel. So these combustions are going to be super effective. There's no anti-magic zone. There's really no denial at all. So Jamili should be able to get a ton of damage out every single time he uses that combustion, and that's going to be a really scary moment for Plot Twist. They managed to hold on through the first one. Solar Beam comes out from Dippy, trying to get some counter pressure here. This is Celestial Alignment. Jamili just going to say nope and blink behind the pillar, just to avoid all that damage. And now once again, it's going to be Dippy on the back foot.
Ooh, Corley getting swapped to here. Hammer of Justice, but nice intervention coming out from Nick there. Now he's going to activate that Sharpened Blade. Looking for some damage here onto Dippy. Jamili just looking to reset that combustion. Basically has it again, and the game literally just started. Gets kicked on his Ring of Frost. Goes to the Polymorph. Nice roar there on the Poly. Nice war stop into the Cyclone. Dippy making some huge plays right now on that Moonkin. Stopping 3 different casts on that Moonkin. Now gets the bash. He's going to get a Cyclone out of that as well. Could definitely be the case. He gets shut down by Nick, and now finally Born Good caught up in a Polymorph. But look at Jamili. He can't get any pressure. He goes for the Dragon's Breath, gets the Ring of Frost, goes for the reshape here. Should be able to land it. He does, but Dippy just going to activate that Frenzied Regen, and he's going to be completely fine here. And that's the thing. If you're playing Mage Warrior and you're going after the Moonkin, Moonkin is going to be extremely tough to kill. You don't really have that mind games. You don't really have that same offense that you did with the Shadow Priest. And now Cornic here getting swapped to Biffy, doing a lot of damage. And honestly, I would like to say Plot Twist are looking like the team that's ahead right now, just in terms of momentum, in terms of how they've been playing so far. But Dippy now getting caught up, but he is in bear form, using that bark skin as well. Still has the renewal. There's the Ventier teleport coming out from Nick. While he's disarmed, trying to min-max his uptime. And now, once again, Dippy just looking to build up his astral power, looking to get those big hits with that Star Surge.
All right, Dippy trying to line of sight here at the pillar with Born Good, but that would mean that he brings Nick really close, and he's taking quite a bit of damage. It's all about that Ventier Warrior doing the damage to the Moonkin. Jamili's just got to get crowd control and basically let Nick do all the heavy lifting when it comes to damage. And there we go, Ring of Frost landed. Nick really needs to maximize damage here. Dippy trades Frenzy Regen before the Sharpened Blade, so it's a good trade. Disorients the Polymorph, Storm Bolts the Polymorph, but a Hammer of Justice to follow up. Dippy still down at half, intervened back by Nick here. Piff is Blade Storming 2 targets, but Dippy is still falling behind. Born Good's out of crowd control, popping Avenging Wrath. Jamili and Nick now low as Plot Twist turn the tables. Corlick getting swapped to in a Hammer of Justice. Nick powering through with that Rallying Cry as his Die by the Sword fades. Corlick goes for a big Divine Favor heal. Not that big, actually. Dippy getting blasted a bit here. If they can slip in a Polymorph. Jamili's down at half. Dippy's just dying to damage. Born Good tops him off, though, just in the nick of time with that Avenging Wrath. Corlick has his Avenging Wrath rolling as well. Mana even between the teams, but it does feel like tempo's in favor of Plot Twist as they could turn this game on a dime.
You definitely could, and on this map, it's going to be really difficult for either one of these healers to drink, so keep that in mind. Their mana might just be final at this point. Full Ring of Frost does land. Dippy just trying to line us out. He's in bear form. Frenzied Regeneration going to be used, and that's going to bring him to full health. Big heal coming in from Dippy. Still just trying to run, trying to hide. Solar Beam comes in. They're going after Corlick, but Dippy at the same time taking a ton of damage. Born Good needs to be very careful. He uses this sacrifice. What a tense moment. They were trying to get aggressive, but Charlotte Phoenix really punished them and forced actually Plot Twist to be defensive and trade out those big cooldowns. And that wasn't even the combustion. Jamili's going to have that combustion in just a few short seconds, and that's going to be an opportunity for Charlotte Phoenix to potentially close out the game, or at least force the remainder of Born Good's defensive cooldowns.
Oh, speaking of defensive cooldowns, you're really getting a kind of offensive Blessing of Protection. Born Good needs to be very careful here. Jamil is looking for the Polymorph, not able to find it yet. He's going to Polymorph Piff, and there is the Hammer of Justice. Now he's going to go for that Ring of Frost, and I'm not sure if he stole a second Blessing of Protection right there, but that's what it looks like right now. And you have a nice double cross CC chain, but look at Dippy getting a Cyclone onto Nick and just sitting in bear form, camping it out, waiting for, the summer season where he can exit that hibernation mode. And now once again, full fear coming out onto Corlick. Jamili now taking a lot of damage here, but Dippy as well though, taking big hits. War Stomp, Cyclone gets interrupted. Jamili still taking a lot of damage though from these Star Surges and from Piff's Blade Storm. And let's see, can they find the CC chain? Born Good in a fear. Here comes the combustion. Jamili could find the Polymorph here out at the end of it. It's still DR for a little bit. Dippy disrupts it with that roar as well. Now here comes the Hammer of Justice. Jamili might be able to find the Polymorph here. Nice interrupt by Piff. Ja is not going to be able to find it this time around. And now once again, it's looking like Dippy is going to be on the aggressive. Born Good pushes in, looking for the Hammer of Justice. Can he find it? Nice counterspell there. Sniped by Jamili. And Dippy now very low here. Gets the Frenzied Regen and still dropping dangerously low. Ja's been playing an excellent game so far offensively. Can he find a Polymorph though? He's fishing for it, choosing not to go for it right now, just waiting for Piff to come out of that crowd control, waiting for Nick to get some more uptime. And there's the sheep onto Born Good, gets trinketed, and now Dippy should be able to survive that situation with Born Good's trinket there. But that was, the pressure is definitely kind of swinging in favor of Charlotte Phoenix right now.
All right, let's see if they can keep the momentum here and tie it up 1-1 in the last series of the day. Elimination. Loser will go home out of the tournament. Born Good in crowd control. Dippy ready in bear form. Piff trying to avoid the cleave, but he's getting soloed by Jamili, trading out that Save by the Light proc along with some Ignore Pain. Dippy still down at half. Born Good still polymorphed up. Nick is really tearing him apart at the moment, trying to Sharpen Blade of Frenzy Regen. Not finding it. Dippy patiently waiting, then using the Frenzy Regen maximizing its healing. Corlic's trying to sit down for a drink, realizing this game could go to dampening. Nick gets pinned down in a spear bastion. He can't really connect at the moment. Nice peel. It looks like Piff wants to swap over and try and help out Dippy a bit, as he is quite low. Both teams are starting to rot as dampening hits about 10%. Jamili has combustion, though. He can make a big play. He's going to pop it right away. Huge damage through that Barkskin. Is Barkskin going to be enough for Dippy? Sharpened blade on that frenzied regen. Nicely timed. Dippy still has renewal coming up in 7 seconds if he can wait for it. I think he's going to be able to make it to it. 4 seconds away. Born Good still crowd control. Rally falls. A huge loss of health here between Dippy and Piff. Born Good looks to recover. Avenging Wrath should allow him to do so. Cyclone's on Jamili. Born Good looking like he wants to charge in. Gets Frost Nova by Jamili. Nice Frost Nova on Born Good. Corlic feared instead. Jamili gets blasted, interrupted, and immediately ice blocks that Celestial alignment. Good response there, but his healer is still crowd controlled.
Yeah, I mean, Dippy, that was the Celestial alignment. That's that huge hit of damage that the Moonkin has available, and I think Jamili is kind of happy to just trade out the ice block. At this point of the game, 15% dampening. Keep in mind, Dippy, a lot of his survivability comes from his frenzied regeneration, his renewal, and as dampening gets higher and higher, those are not going to be as effective, and all these crowd control changes on Born Good are going to be a disaster for Plot Twist to really deal with. But Jamili right now with no ice block still has to be incredibly careful in this matchup. All these shifting powers, if they're not interrupted, might help out, lowering the cooldown of that ice block. We shall see what the Charlotte Phoenix decide to do. Combustion is available and ready to go. If they can get crowd control on Born Good, I feel like Combustion is just going to get used immediately on Dippy. Try to shred through that defense. Here's a Combustion. Big damage on Dippy. Can he survive? Born Good trades the Sacrifice. He's not messing around, but they overlap the Barkskin with the Sacrifice, and that means Plot Twist is not going to have some cooldowns for some time.
Yeah, and at this point, basically with that last play, Jamili, nice alter time there. Kind of bring him back to full HP here. Just swapping over to Nick a little bit, but Nick is looking nice and healthy here. Dippy trying to get a big hit here. He's going to have his Solar Beam right now. He could potentially Solar Beam Jamili on an Arcane School and go for that big hit wonder like he did before. Dippy trinketing here as well. And that last play kind of telegraphed that Jamili not really looking to win with CC Chain, just looking to outlast here with damage. Right now they have a pretty big mana lead on the side of Charlotte Phoenix. Here comes the punch though from Dippy. Can they get the crowd control? They have a Hammer of Justice onto Corlic. Jamili could be careful here, has to be careful here. The Cauterize could potentially proc, and there it is, the Solar Beam. Here comes the damage from Dippy as well. Doesn't look like he has enough Astral Power actually to empty the tank there with those Star Surges. Jamili gonna be able to hold on, no problems whatsoever. Corlic also gonna have his bubble, his trinket, as well as his sacrifice here to work with. Born Good now trying to sit back, look for a drink, but Corlic also doing the same, and I would say this is actually in favor of Plot Twist if they can get the drink, but right now it looks like Born Good has to stop the drink. Dippy, what are you gonna do here? Big damage coming out from Jamili. Born Good trades out the Divine Shield right there, and he's gonna use that last cooldown here, trying to keep Dippy alive, but Dippy's still taking so much damage here. I don't see them winning this game, Sid.
No, it's looking pretty tense. They dropped the spear on Jamili, trying to turn this around, but Dippy's still so low on health here. Not a lot of answers. Dampening's high. Born Good procs and Awakening, Avenging Wrath, and bops, but not enough. Dippy will drop. Charlotte Phoenix tie it up 1-1.
Yeah, I mean, that was a long game, but you can kind of just see Charlotte Phoenix, the consistency of that Fire Mage, having the Combustion up just so much more often than that Celestial alignment. Really gives them a nice little advantage in this matchup. Well played by the Charlotte Phoenix, and this is what we're talking about. This team just has so much flexibility in terms of the compositions that they can bring. I think this looked a lot better than the Shadow Priest Warrior.
All right, 1-1 here. We can also see those final moments of Plot Twist. Dippy going down.
Yeah, and it's kind of like Venruki mentioned at this point. Every single time Jaw gets that combust, it's going to be big damage coming out. And here he's bashed on it. But now as soon as he comes out, he has those leftovers on that combustion. Born Good pushing in for some crowd control. He has the wings thinking, hey, Dippy's going to be safe here. Jaw also having that alter time is a massive defensive in this matchup since there's no purge on that Moonkin Warrior team. And at this point, it's just more and more damage coming out, especially from Nick here with that Venthyr Warrior. One Execute's going to connect, one Pyro's going to connect, and that is going to be the end of Dippy in that match. About 30% or so dampening there. And I have a feeling that every single game is going to look very similar to that one. There wasn't really that many openings in that match, I would say, for Plot Twist.
Yeah, and if you take a look at the pacing from the last 2 games as well, that I feel like it's starting to feel a little bit familiar, maybe to what we saw last year, in BFA. What exactly is the key? What's attributing to that sort of playstyle, Supatis? Why are we seeing these games go so late?
I mean, it's just self-sufficiency, right? I mean, look at the healing Dippy does. Look at the healing Jamili does. Even Nick. I mean, Nick on Warrior. Warrior didn't have Ignore Pain before, and now they can use Absorbs on themselves. The Triune Ward, the Blazing Barriers. Paladins have really good cooldowns to immune the burst damage, and then the healing is so high outside of those windows that it's hard to really net a kill without it. So both teams are aware of cooldown situations, make good trades. Dampening comes into an effect to reduce the healing, and then it becomes more scary in between every cooldown window, which is why we just see that situation repeating. It's really teams playing the best comps, games usually only ending due to an error. But then teams that play comps that don't have these cooldowns to trade properly can end up going down prior to these deeper dampening moments. But that is the main reason. I would say that there are more classes now than Battle for Azeroth. Battle for Azeroth really only had Destro, Warlock, Infernal as a cooldown that was really scary. Whereas now in Shadowlands, Ret Paladins are scary because of their cooldowns. Boomkins are scary because of their cooldowns. Shadow Priest, even with Mind Games, is scary. There's a lot more specs that have that big burst window, so there's a little bit more diversity, but the strategy is still the same. It's just different specs trying to execute on it.
Yeah, but now we're going to be going into Tolvaron Arena. That is the map choice from Plot Twist, as they did just lose that last game. It's going to be Charlotte Phoenix map choice here. Tied up right now, so Charlotte Phoenix having to blind lock this composition. A little bit scary if they want to sort of get the momentum going to win this series and send Plot Twist out of the tournament here. But as we've seen with the last 2 games, both of these teams absolutely neck and neck in terms of skill and talent from these players. We've all seen them before in tournament play, so absolutely capable of taking this one home. Charlotte Phoenix locking in that composition. We're going to have Nick on the Rogue, Jamili on that Fire Mage. And I feel like Jamili is one of those players, he's known for his Mage, but if you look at his sort of career in the AWC, this is not a player, Zico, that shies away from trying new compositions.
Yeah, I mean, he plays a lot of mainly casters. I don't think we've really seen him on a melee, but he definitely, bring. Actually, we have on his enhanced shaman, I believe.
Plays Ret.
Ret is it Ret real?
Yeah, that's real.
Are we sure about that? We've definitely seen his enhanced shaman, and that's been real in the past. And Ellie shaman, as well as the Shadow Priest, Fire Mage, of course, but Mage in general. So I've always looked at him as a bit of a caster expert, and then he also has that enhance. I remember last year he brought out the Ret at some point, but I don't remember if it was that convincing. It definitely could be now, though. Has he played it here in Shadowlands?
I think so, yeah. I think in some of I think it was 2 weeks ago, during the early stages, not in the top 8, that he did play it. I think.
Okay.
But, yeah, I see him on it every once in a while. I you know what? Just kind of talking about this composition choice, I don't mind this at all. Actually, you know what? I kind of like it. I think Charlotte Phoenix, their main target is going to be Born Good. I think they're going to have to just rinse, repeat, goes on Born Good. I don't really see Dippy going down without Mind Games. I feel like Mind Games is the extra piece of the puzzle you need to take down a Moonkin to kind of negate their frenzied regeneration. If you don't have that, I would be extremely surprised if Dippy goes down, besides until 30% dampening. So
I don't think you kill the Moonkin as Rogue Mage Paladin. I think
I
it's
think
either
you just go
Warrior
Paladin.
or Healer. Yeah, I don't think you ever target the Moonkin. Just counterspell Cyclone when you want to go, and then try and burst a different target down. There's no way. If they target Boomkin, they're definitely throwing. I was wondering why they didn't blind lock Warrior Mage. I think they might be worried because Piff can play Ellie, and maybe Ellie Mage would have been too much for Warrior Mage. So that's what because I was surprised. Warrior Mage was, I feel like, dumpstering them. So I was surprised not to see them automatically lock that. They went to Sub Rogue, which tells me they're afraid of potentially Piff on Ellie.
It could be that. It could also be that maybe they feel like they have a better matchup here, because I think Rogue Mage didn't look bad at all. The one vulnerability was the Priest. The only way we saw Plot Twist winning was ooming the Priest or killing the Priest. And guess what? There's a Paladin now. So what's their win condition? They're going after Born Good. Big damage coming in. Dippy just trying to peel the opener. He gets a Blessing of Protection. Big damage on Born Good. Can he survive? He needs to be very careful. He gets so low. He greeds it and manages to hold on. But I really like what they did there. Jamili trinketed. He got a Blessing of Protection, so he could actually get off that full combustion. Dippy tried to peel it, and he bought Born Good enough time to survive, but not a bad start here for the Charlotte Phoenix.
Yeah, absolutely. And now they're going to do exactly what we talked about. They're going to swap over to Piff here. No, CC. Actually, they do get a polymorph here onto Born Good. Nice Shadow Step kick as well, but that means Piff is completely exposed. Can they kill the banner before they get the resheep? They do actually. Very nicely done here. Can they get any follow-up, though? Nick does not have the blind right now. Born Good, I believe, trinketed it in that exchange, so they got what they needed. And now, I think, on the side of Charlotte Phoenix, they're looking to set up again here onto Born Good. Just waiting for those DRs. Nick might be even going for a re-stealth here, and as soon as he gets it, I'm expecting Born Good to be that next target. Let's see what they can do here. Piff might actually be a little bit exposed. There's the sheep shot onto Piff. There's a kidney onto Born Good. Ring of Frost gets interrupted. Dippy gets kicked there on that Cyclone, and now Jamili should have no problems here landing that Ring of Frost, and there it is. He's going to actually get interrupted on it, but land the polymorph. Dragon's Breath comes out there as well on the Moonkin healing. Big damage coming out. Born Good forced to use that trinket or that Divine Shield sacrifice. Nick gonna take that and run with it with that Knight's Face Soul Ship.
They're in a good position. They've been getting cooldown after cooldown. With the Paladin, they don't have that liability of mana. Also, swapping is a bit harder onto the Paladin. So Charlotte Phoenix are in a great position. I feel like they could close this game out at any moment. Every target is just a buffet at this moment for victory. And they're looking to move to match point. Counter pressure finally, but instantly healed back by Corlic's Divine Favor. Ring of Frost trying to catch Dippy. They need to remove the Boomkin. Cyclone and Regrowth will stop them in their tracks, but Dippy typhoons them away from Born Good. They're trying to protect Born Good. They're trying to stall and keep them away. Jamili's pushing forward. Nick's going in on the left with his sprint. Born Good needs to be careful. He's running circles. Nick Shadow Steps, but can't connect. They go for the Meteor, but they didn't stun. Maybe a miscommunication there. Corlic now stunned up. Looks like they may want to go after him in the Hammer of Justice. Not able to. Nick in a Spear of Bastion. Locked down here with a Solar Beam. Beautiful combo by Plot Twist to try and keep themselves in the game. They net evasion. They need to get more than just evasion with these cooldowns. Piff now getting blasted. Has the Eye by the Sword available for combustion. War Banner's down. Doesn't manage to catch anything. They kill it off and land a sap. Piff is still below half HP. Holding on to it. Now recovered. Thanks to Born Good's healing. Nick, the target, still down to half. Trying to run away with Corlic. Corlic picks him up with Divine Favor. Piff leaps in. It looks like Plot Twist want to get aggressive.
It certainly does. I mean, basically, they're just tired of waiting around. I mean, Born Good finally has his trinket, so he's not as afraid that they make a swap. And also, Jamili committed his combustion during that last go. Looks like they're just going to be going after Piff. Ring of Frost on Dippy. Born Good's in crowd control. Beautiful cross crowd control. Piff, 3v1 situation. A sap on Dippy. Nicely done there by Nick. What is Born Good going to do? He has the trinket. Forced the trinket out. That was not the combustion. Definitely an unhappy moment there for Born Good, but that was a great setup by Charlotte Phoenix. They're actually getting attacked now. It's going to be Nick is in a little bit of trouble. Corlic forced to trade out the trinket as well as the sacrifice, and now going to be looking for a reset. Jamili has about 20 seconds left on his combustion. Get fireballs, 18 seconds, just needs a few more, and then combustion's going to be locked and loaded, ready to go. Plot Twist could be in some trouble.
Yeah, and that was a bit of a defensive overlap there. Trinket from Corlic and Nick. Now here comes the blind. Blessing of Protection comes out. Honestly, if they can get a sheep here onto Born Good, they could just take him out. No, Born Good is going to stay out of crowd control right now. Preemptive Sacrifice comes out here as well. And honestly, Born Good is looking more and more like a juicy target. He has that forbearance on him from that Blessing of Protection on the blind. It looks like they're trying to set it up. Ring of Frost gets interrupted. Jamili trying to land it, and there it is. Kidney onto Born Good. They're looking to set it up. Combustion gets ripped out, but Piff is there backing him up. I don't think Born Good dies here. Bit of a baity setup right there. Jamili pulling the trigger on that combustion as well. So Piff is definitely going to be happy about that one. And now Born Good, though, in a sheep. 10 seconds left on Piffy's trinket. Here comes the Rune of Power. Jamili with the fireballs, counterspell as well onto Dippy. War Stomp, Regrowth comes out as well. Dippy is saving the day here once again. Piff gonna have his trinket. Born Good rotating back up with his Divine Shield. And so far they've been weathering that. One of those scariest moments in the game right there on the side of Plot Twist. And now finally for the first time it looks like they're slightly ahead in terms of cooldowns. They have about 30 seconds here to get some big setup going onto Nick. But now again, double blinding light. Piff forced to use his trinket right there. Counterspell again gets sniped out by Jamili. Potential for a reshape here as well. Piff still taking a decent amount of damage, and Born Good now breaking out with the Divine Shield as Nick is actually re-stealthing right there. Jamili basically just solo forcing that one by keeping the chain going. Excellently done by him. And now once again, very scary situation ahead here for Plot Twist.
See if they can keep this going. Tampanine has just kicked in. They have a slight mana advantage. That going in their favor at least. Dippy stunned out in midfield. Jamili's going to Ring of Frost. Maybe a swap to the Paladin. Kidney shot on board. They go after Piff. Piff sees it coming. Blade Storms and immunes the stun. That was a nice play by Piff here, but still ultimately caught out. Huge damage. They beam Jamili, but Combustion gets stripped out here. Piff, will he survive the attack? Managing to hold on. It looks like Dippy saves him once again. Now Nick stunned up. Corlick stunned up. Big blast of damage here. Corlick gets swapped to. Almost dropped to, popping that Divine
Trinket
Shield.
and Divine Shield.
Immunity, a big counter assault here by Dippy, putting the team in his back pocket. I feel like it's the first time we've seen Dippy in a tournament, facing tournament veterans like Charlotte Phoenix, putting on a show.
Yeah, he's doing a great job so far. They managed to get the Divine Shield. They got the Trinket. They're getting everything from Corlick. I mean, look, he's got no defensive cooldowns left. Nick is on the run, but I feel like chasing down Nick might be a little bit of a mistake. Likely going to be able to get that re-stealth. Borngood now has his Trinket. Piff has the Die by the Sword rotating back up. Who are they going to go after? Charlotte Phoenix with no combustion available. Their damage is limited, but if they can get good crowd control, kidney shot here. And it looks like Piff with a preemptive, intimidating shout, doing a great job. Blessing of Protection, trace from Corlick. They're just playing all-out aggressive. Borngood into Polymorph. Ring of Frost on Dippy. Dippy looking to back up Piff if he can. Let's see if he can do it. He gets caught into a cheap shot. The Warbanner drops down by Piff. It gets killed off. Piff's in so much trouble. Borngood needs to keep him alive just a little bit longer. Can he connect the heal? He does. Plot twist, hold on.
Oh, beautiful stuff there. But now both teams kind of in a checkmate situation. I think they could take down Corlick here. Dippy's going to have his root beam as well. It's just his beam as well as that spear. They're going after Nick here. Big damage onto Nick. He's going to trinket evasion there. And Dippy still hasn't used that big hit. He's going to have that available very, very shortly here. But now once again, set up from Charlotte Phoenix. Gets interrupted here by Dippy with the roar, with the bash, trying to stall by a little bit of time here. Borngood has no cooldowns. Corlick has no cooldowns as well. And honestly, if I'm on plot twist, I just go aggressive here. Borngood now caught up in a cyclone, or in a sheep, but Jamili caught up in a cyclone. Dragon's Breath comes out, doesn't get the good timing there. Dippy again here, saving the day with those regrowths. Nick now in a very scary situation here. Actually in line of sight of Corlick still, but has to run away here now. Going back for Borngood, big smoke bomb swap, but he does have that Pro Legendary. Maybe it could do work, but I don't think so. Borngood gets swapped to and destroyed in that smoke bomb. Excellently set up there by Charlotte Phoenix, and they're going to take the match.
All right, Charlotte Phoenix now 2-1 here, putting themselves on match point. And it's games like this, and I think it was Supatis that mentioned that these guys really are tournament veterans. They've been here so many times before, and I feel like it's moments like these, Ben, that you can start to see that experience showing through.
Yeah, I just think the fact that they have lots of different compositions. I mean, obviously they're playing this composition very well. Plot twist, they managed to hold on for quite a long time in that game. They're rotating through all their cooldowns, but this is the situation you don't want to find yourself in. Borngood, he's caught into a polymorph. Keep in mind, he's got no trinket. He's got no divine shield. They go after Piff a little bit here. Jamili has a combustion, opting not to use it, kind of realizing, okay, I didn't get crowd control on Dippy. Probably not going to be able to power through. You need triple crowd control in a setup like that. Otherwise, Dippy's just going to be able to put out a lot of cross healing. Then they just make a big swap on Borngood, kind of out of nowhere. And Borngood gets caught into the stuns, the smoke bomb, Piff and a polymorph. No one's really there to back him up. And that was really quick. I mean, Charlotte Phoenix, they made a really good decision there, swapping onto Borngood. He wasn't on stun DR. And Piff was across the map. Dippy was locked out. It was just kind of perfectly set up, perfectly executed. And at 20% dampening, Charlotte Phoenix was able to go up 2-1 in the series.
What do you think is going on here exactly on the side of the plot twist here, Zico? Is it their comp that's just not quite working here, or are they just getting outplayed by Charlotte Phoenix in these last two games?
Well, I think they're playing a really good game, but I think they're very limited in terms of composition for sure. And yeah, I mean, there was an opening there, but I think at the end there, they were a little bit too passive. They should have just went for it because it is so hard to even put yourself in that situation to begin with against Rogue Mage. So if you ever have that situation where the Holy Paladin doesn't have any cooldowns, or the Rogue maybe doesn't have cooldowns as well, I think playing defense there, you're not going to outstall the Rogue Mage. You're just going to give them more setups, and eventually somebody's going to go down. Instead, just try to play for the win there. I realized something interesting as well with the Prot Legendary. It activates when you're dropped under 20%. So if you're 25% and you get hit to, let's say, 5%, that legendary damage reduction is only going to be for that 5% HP. So it's a little bit of RNG there when you go for those big swaps. If you get meteored when you're 20% or like let's say 22%, the meteor can literally kill you without it even triggering at all. So I feel like Born Good with a little bit more luck maybe would have been able to survive that last setup. Regardless though, that was a very clean swap by Charlotte Phoenix. Good decision making by Jamili as well, holding on to his combustion, not wasting it on the warrior there, and as well a good call potentially by Nick there to go for that smoke bomb play.
Yep, very good play indeed by Charlotte Phoenix. Plot twist going to be once again choosing their map here that didn't quite work out on that last map choice on Tolvaron Arena. And so curious to see what they go with. They're going to be going with Ashamane's Fall here, playing that same composition here. Same with Charlotte Phoenix as well. And Ven, given what we saw in that first game, do you think that Charlotte Phoenix is going to be able to reliably find that opening once again on Plot Twist?
I think so. I feel like with Nick, if he's just going for resells and he can get the triple stun lock combo, I mean, it's really difficult. Like Supet's kind of said, they're just going after Born Good, they're just going after Piff. Dippy really isn't a target, but it's really hard for Dippy to actually help anyone out if he's just Dragon's Breath, Ring of Frost, or he gets Counterspell. Those two things just completely nullify him from being able to assist his team, and Jamili can get a big combustion off with crowd control on Born Good. If they're going after Piff, or crowd control on Piff if they're going after Born Good. And honestly, this is looking like a really convincing matchup from the side of the Rogue Mage Paladin. I think this was a good choice by Charlotte Phoenix.
Yeah, we'll have to see here if it ends up winning them this series in this next game. Game number 4, gonna be on Ashamane's Fall. It's Charlotte Phoenix on match point versus Plot Twist.
And we're going to see once again here the exact same composition as in that last game. And I feel like the Warrior Mage looked kind of more safe, but I would say the Rogue Mage, maybe I'm a little bit biased here, but it does look a bit more entertaining to see, a little bit more classic World of Warcraft like that instead of the previous match where basically it's just two teams waiting for dampening and then trying to get a big hit. I like the swaps and the counter setups as well from Plot Twist. And that game was somewhat close as well there from Plot Twist. They had that situation where, Korlik didn't really have any more defense. There was a couple of defensive overlaps as well. And that's the thing about the Moonkin. He can always get those big hits. And now Dippy here going to look for that roar. As soon as Jamili pops combustion, there it is. He's going to try to bash the trinket. And he gets a war stomp there. That means Born Good should be able to survive. No way. Oh, he greets it, but this time around, he's not going to greet it too much. That Prompt Legendary is not going to be enough. And here we go, Korlik now getting blasted. There's the Kyrian Spear. Big damage coming out onto him as well. But Korlik, I think he's going to be able to brush that up just using his trinket. Born Good forced to use his bubble there as well. So explosive opener here from both sides.
Let's see if they can keep it up here. Nick gets swapped to, trades that evasion. Avenging Wrath. They get Divine Shield from Born Good. He's caught in a blind to swap over to the Warrior. Everyone in crowd control. Nobody can help out Piff here. Stun lock, stun lock, stun lock. Still triple crowd control. Piff finally out, disarming the Rogue, but Jamili is lighting him up. Now Rally forced as well. Dippy trying to peel, knocking Nick away, disorienting Jamili, doing his best to stall for Born Good to get out of crowd control. A nice piercing howl by Piff, slowing the whole team so they can't make any sort of swap here. Smoke bomb. Piff leaps out of it instantly. As that Rally falls, his Battlemaster going to fall. And that's it! That's all it takes. He was relying on banked up health that he didn't actually have, and it will cost the match point. Charlotte Phoenix advance to Championship Sunday.
Ooh, that was such a nice blessing of protection there on the duel. Sorry, man.
Yeah, the Shadowy Tool really closed that one out there. Charlotte Phoenix making quick work of Plot Twist in that game number 4, going up 3-1. Plot Twist unfortunately going to be eliminated, but really dominating performance there by the Charlotte Phoenix.
Absolutely, and as said our